Greetings from WBCS Neo in a very small screen here. Okay, okay, this is very small. I've had a few things going on the internet about OBS software and people having lots of issues trying to get multiple cameras working. Excuse me, I've got a sore throat. More of a tickly cough now. I'm just trying to lube it up as I speak. Basically, lots of people have trouble trying to set up multiple cameras in OBS. However, I have managed to suss out exactly what the problem is, and I will try to put it in layman terms. So if you are trying to set up OBS for the first time, things that you should check for, and I will try to find examples on the internet in a minute and show you. So just to prove that you can have multiple multiple cameras, I will turn on number 2 and number 3. Okay, so there's my what I call cube cam. Okay, that's my cube cam. This one here, the one at the bottom right. The dark one is just one I quickly set up. That's my old camera before I got the web camera, and obviously the nice clear lush really nice HD camera from One's View. It's a 106 One's View webcam. Really good camera, go out and get one, really good. Not that I'm pushing it or anything, but you know, I am one of the testers. Anyway, cracking on. So as you can see, I have got 3 cameras. We can do a wrap round so you can see I'm not pre-recording or anything like that. Okay, so I'll explain how I got this working as best as I can by showing you where most people are going wrong with stuff like USB connections and stuff. If I was to pull up the camera details for the GoPro Silver and Black, for example, they both use the same capture card converter, HDMI converter card, so they come up as the same item. So if I look up GoPro Silver in here, okay, you can say USB video. Okay, there's 2 USB videos, so I don't know which is which really. You can do a hack in the registry to change the name of them if you want to. It's a bit of a fanny on, but you can do that, so you can name them within the registry. So when you plug them in, you give the right ID, the right name or nickname to it. So the GoPro Black, exactly the same USB video, okay, because they're both using the same type of capture card. So as far as OBS is concerned, and this is where the problem lies, is OBS doesn't look for a specific camera. Can you imagine looking for literally tens of thousands of different makes and models of camera? So when you plug a camera in, or you look for an actual capture source, it just looks for a generic code within the registry assigned to a certain USB port. And this is where the problem lies, is people will stack all the cameras on one USB bus, okay, and that is not a good idea because of how most camera software, unless it's actually software designed for the camera, say if you get a Logitech camera, you will normally get Logitech software which only works with that camera, or Logitech cameras, because they go that little bit further and ID it deeper within the USB substructure to pinpoint exactly what camera it is, so you cannot use that software on a non-Logitech camera, and that's how they protect the software. Okay, unless you do a hack to the registry to change your camera ID to Logitech, which is a lot of hard work, it's not worth it. Okay, but OBS generalizes, and this is where stuff like OBS camera, the Microsoft built-in camera software, does the same. It doesn't look for the camera, it looks for a camera signature rather than a camera actual fingerprint within a USB port system. All these multi-camera systems do the same thing. This is also the reason why you can't really say I've got these 3 cameras open here now. If I were on Zoom, I would have to switch off my webcam to allow that to work in Zoom. Okay, so you can disable the webcam here. I could open Zoom up and it'll transfer over to Zoom. Zoom will take control of it until I finish with Zoom, and then Zoom will release it back to the system for another piece of software to hijack as well. So things to remember with any stuff like this where you are trying to get a device to work on one particular thing, whether it be a webcam, whether it be a sound card, etc, etc. Sound cards are designed to multitask. Obviously that's how you get sound throughout the whole system to different various things. When it comes to web cameras or webcam software, they take control of that camera entirely. There is apparently software out there, I think it was XSplit or something it was called, which allows you to multitask a camera as such. I don't know how good it is, how reliable it is, because you're then trying to get the camera to work twice as hard for bit streams and stuff like that. It's probably not a viable option, to be fair, unless you lower the resolution of the camera to 720 for example, and then split it off to two 720s to give up the 1080 sort of thing. Things like that. Okay, so yeah, there's lots of pros and cons with that. I would highly recommend not using splitting software at all, because you're going to put a lot of stress on the system. Okay, so 3 cameras working. I'll explain what's going to happen is, and I'll try to do it since I've got the left screen on. I should minimize this, and I'm just going to go to Google or DuckDuckGo, whichever you prefer, and I am just going to USB ports on motherboard. Just curious to see if, oops, so live on camera doing typos. Okay, so I'm going to look for images. This is a prime example here. If I can get this full screen, let's have a look. Oh, it would be a low resolution one, wouldn't it? But it is a prime example. I mean, that is an extreme motherboard. Now you see how these are stacked one on top of each other. Each one of those is a separate USB bus. They are not tied together. You can plug one device in there and it has nothing to do with this one here. What the mistake people do is they'll put 2 cameras, for example, in these 2 slots. So you've got 2 cameras with the same ID, if you're using 2 capture cards with the exactly same capture card, going into one bus. So as far as video software sees, it will only see the one camera, or it will only be able to attach to one of those cameras, because it's like an echo effect. Because it's not in a separate bus, it can't scan through and go, oh, there's a camera there and then there's a camera there. It doesn't work like that. It relies on the USB bus IDs telling it there's a camera at least on one bus. So if you plug a camera in this one here and then plug a camera in here, it'll work straight away, guaranteed. Unless for some reason this motherboard has these as one bus. These might be one bus. Okay, they might have, with them being USB 3 or 3.2, 3.1 or whatever, they might be able to support 4 USB socket powers, as it were, because high power sockets. Okay, so that is probably another bus. That's probably another USB bus. That's probably another USB bus, etc. Okay, so if you had 4 cameras, ideally I would put 1 in each of these bottom slots. Okay, and then you're guaranteed it will most likely allow all 4 cameras to work. So you could, in theory, have 6 cameras on this motherboard. Okay, that's not including the internal USBs, if it has anything. Well, it looks like it has some on the front there. So you could probably get away with 10 cameras? 8 cameras, no, 5, 6, yeah, 8 cameras on this particular motherboard, because of how many buses it supports. Okay, and that's what you've got to do. This is why people with printers have difficulty when they plug 2 printers in the same USB port and stuff like that. Printer software, if you install the genuine printer software that comes with a printer, will ID it to its ID, not to the USB ID, but to the actual the ID of the actual printer itself, again to stop you using that software on another printer. Okay, to protect their copyright, to make sure you pay for it. Okay, because otherwise everybody would be just going to different printer driver locations and downloading free software for their printers and stuff like that, and getting more benefits from it for free. So that's what they do. Okay, so that's why most people struggle, because they just shove cameras in willy-nilly on USB buses, usually all in the same USB bus, and wonder why they can't swap cameras, or they'll unplug a camera and the other camera will come on, because that bus has been released from one video input to another. Okay, and that's why any software that you're using, same with Google Chrome, if you do a live broadcast on Google Facebook for example, it looks for all the cameras it can find. If they are all in the same USB bus, it only finds one, and it tends to, if you come across a problem where you can't select the camera because Google is confused by what it sees on those buses. It doesn't see an individual camera. It sees lots and gets confused and just grays the option out and doesn't let you basically manage it. It doesn't let you do anything with it. What am I doing? I'll go back to the... What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? Am I doing the wrong thing yet? Ah, there we go. Right, back. I'm back. Hey, I'm back. The first time I've done OBS multi-screen, because I've got OBS recording on one and OBS playing a demo on the other to show what's going on. That's fun. That's tricky, so if you're going to try to do that, if you're going to do OBS examples, it's really fun. It can mess your head up a little bit, as it just did there, because I was like, where am I going, what am I doing? Okay, so that is the main reason why multiple cameras don't work on certain software, just because you have got them plugged in to one USB bus, as it were, instead of spreading them out between all the USBs. Bit like in the old days when you had USB 1.1 and stuff like that. You would have power restraints. You would plug like a video camera or web camera in, and then your mouse wouldn't work because you had the mouse plugged in the same USB. You had to spread the power out because they couldn't handle the power. But obviously USB 3, USB 4 and stuff now can handle a lot more power. Device management's a lot easier on them as well. But generally, as a rule, spread your cameras out through the buses. Don't put them in a stack together. They just won't work. Okay, if you get them working, you might be lucky. There might be the interface that you've got is identifying as separate buses for each device plugged in, which is a plus. Very unlikely, but that's what can happen. Okay, that's about it really. If you've got any questions, please drop a question in the links, the comments below, and I'll be happy to try answer it as best I can. If I need to make a video for you, I'll make a video describing whatever problem you might be encountering. If you want to go through any settings for the cameras, the one thing I will pull up with the settings to allow you to use Zoom and Facebook and everything at the same time. If you are using OBS to record, for example, and you say, for example, I want to put the webcam in Zoom now, okay, if I turn the web camera off like this and I just get Zoom started, okay, so hopefully all being well, if I start a new meeting here, I should, hopefully, I have got Zoom working, I've got the camera on, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert Zoom into here. So video capture device, no it wasn't that one, it was I'm trying to think what it was, media source, you know when you just can't remember, window capture, that's the one. Add existing Zoom, click OK, and there it is. Okay, so you can see what I've done there. I've disabled this camera here, okay, and now Zoom's got control of it. Okay, if I turn the webcam back on here, nothing happens. It cannot pull it, it won't do anything. Okay, if I open Zoom back up, which you can't see because it's off your screen, and I just end the recording, okay, and hopefully if I turn the webcam off and back on, there it is. So it released the actual control of the camera back to the system, and the system said to OBS, oh, I've got another camera for you back, and just put it back on. So there you go. So that shows you, if you get it all set up rightly, you can literally hot swap anything to any bit of software, as long as you know what you're doing. This is the confusion, because I've got like 3 cameras here. I can point one to Zoom, one to Facebook, and one to YouTube if I wanted to. Okay, because they're all on separate buses. There's no arguments between any of it. It's only when you want to try and use one device between 3 of them, or between, say if you want to share my web camera via Facebook, OBS and YouTube, it won't happen because it's not allowed to, unless you use specialist software which splits the streams up. You've got no chance. Okay, so there you go. Enjoy. Please comment on a bit on the video. I hope my throat gets better soon. It is clearing up, but oh, I just can't stop coughing at the minute. No, it's not COVID. No, I'm not going to die. Okay, see you later. Watch what you're doing, and I'm going to go to this one over here. Ciao for now.